Hey, what is going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So, I don't know about you, but if you're like me and you live in a climate area where, it's always hot right now, not even a sprinkling of cool weather has come in sight in months, then you're probably like, man, bring on those fall temps. Enough with the warm weather. It's time for it to cool down a little bit. And you know what that means. For most people, fall is the best time of year to wear fragrances. I'm definitely in that camp, even though I don't really get fall temperatures here, at least not consistent ones, or it's greatly delayed and more so towards the winter, but hey, I'll take it when I get it. That's what this fragrance video is going to be about. We're going to talk about fragrances that I am looking forward to wearing for the upcoming fall or cooler season, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, this doesn't necessarily apply to people that are maybe much further up north where they may still get some cool days here and there, and also people in the southern hemisphere. Obviously, you're looking for it to warm up probably at this point. But, I kind of have to talk about with my experience. I can't cater to everybody, but it is what it is. Concept remains the same. I've got 10 fragrances here. Most of these are going to be scents that I'm actually looking forward to wearing in cooler temps because I haven't had a chance to yet. Either I haven't had them during the cooler season or they weren't released during a cool season. I think that only really applies to one, but that's neither here nor there. So that's going to be the bulk of the fragrances. And also there's just a couple on here that I actually prefer not to wear in warmer weather. I would actually rather wear them when it's a little cooler out. So again, got 10 of them. Let's go ahead and get it started. But before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please hit that bell icon and enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. Okay, first up on the list, from the house of Amouage. This is King Blue. Amouage King Blue. So, if you're familiar with the scent, it is an oud fragrance. There's no denying it. You get it right off the bat. It is a little bit barnyard hay-like once you first spray it on, but it does settle into this beautiful, woody, kind of resinous, slightly sweet fragrance that I just absolutely love. Again, this one's not going to be for everybody, but I get it. But I love what this fragrance has going for it. Slight kind of, fruitiness on it. Not really like just straight up fruit. It just has something to kind of counter the woodiness and the resinous nature of it. Beautiful patchouli sandalwood like dry down with this scent. I love this stuff, and I don't mind wearing this when it's hot. I do think this is an oud fragrance you can wear with it's hot, as long as you don't go nuts with the sprays and you consider the occasion accordingly. But yeah, I want to smell this when it cools off because I haven't had the chance to yet. I just got this maybe less than a month ago. So obviously I haven't had a chance to wear this in cool weather. I do think this fragrance would shine actually a little bit better in like a fall like temperature. So naturally, when it does cool down here, whenever that happens, this is going to be one of the ones I gotta kind of have at the top of the list because I definitely want to have that experience when I can. Because again, we don't get a lot of cool weather here. At most, it's maybe 1.5 months to 2 months out of the year. That being said, I could go up to Jacksonville. I do go up to Jacksonville often for work. That's in the Panhandle. They do get fall temperatures. So, and I go there like 3 to 4 times a month. So that's usually when I can get in my fall testings. So this one will definitely be on that short list to wear when it cools off. Once again, from the house of Amouage, this is King Blue. All right, next one's coming from the house of Chanel. This is going to be Le Lion de Chanel. Le Lion de Chanel, this one is a special case in my entire collection actually, because I actually bought this in an area where it was fall temps. Bought this up in Minneapolis. I was up there for work for like a week, and I grabbed it before I left at the Mall of America, Chanel boutique there, and it was clear fall temps then. Was it winter? I think it was more fall. It wasn't quite winter, but it was cold and there was no denying it. And I bought this in that time frame and I wore it before I left. So this one was actually one that I had a cold weather experience with compared to most of the stuff I have versus having a warm weather experience first. I actually prefer to wear this in cooler weather. So this one, I'm looking forward to it cooling off so I can put this in the rotation more. What is this? This is a very ambery, lot of labdanum, so kind of resinous, somewhat spicy fragrance. Not going to be for everyone. Get your nose on it first if you're looking into this one. A little bit of a kind of a zesty lemon to counter it. I think there's some patchouli in this as well. Does have that. It's actually got the same listed notes as King Blue and a little bit of a similar smell, sandalwood and patchouli. Those two things just make up a really nice base to a fragrance. But yeah, primarily lapping them with this. Some people experience it to be a little bit animalic. I don't really quite get that, but it is a fragrance you probably want to get your nose on. It does kind of have a little bit of a sweatiness to it. That's the best thing I can attribute that to. But yeah, this one here, I actually prefer to wear in cooler weather. I don't mind wearing it in warmer weather, but I usually save this one. I don't think I've worn this at all during these warmer months. So that's one of the few fragrances that I would say I don't really like to wear that when it's hot out. Once again, from the house of Chanel, this is Léon de Chanel. All right, next one's coming from the house of the Harmonist. This is Hypnotizing Fire. The Harmonist Hypnotizing Fire. So this one here, I have worn in warm weather. I would wear it in warmer weather, maybe on a summer night, definitely, preferably indoors to be honest. But this to me is like a quintessential fall fragrance. It pulls out all the stops like short of tobacco. It's got the spiciness, it's got a little bit of sweetness, and not really a woody feel with this, but it kind of has those quintessential things that a lot of people are looking forward to really breaking out once the fall temperatures come, and this fragrance has that. So yeah, spices, I think there's pimento in this. There's a little bit of a kind of floral rose, just kind of binding the spice and the sweet elements together. Kind of reminds me of watching a fire from start to finish. It just paints that picture in my head. Sexy, sensual, amazing quality, kind of has this ethereal airiness to it, which is synonymous with really all of these, the Harmonist fragrances, or at least the ones I've smelled so far. But yeah, this is a quintessential fall fragrance. So this one, I don't mind wearing in warm weather, and I have worn it in cool weather before. I'm just looking forward to breaking it out again once those fall temperatures get here. So that's where this one falls on this list. Once again, from the house of the Harmonist, this is, Hypnotizing Fire. Moving on, next one's coming from the house of Louis Vuitton. This is gonna be Lovers. Louis Vuitton, LV, Lovers. So with this one, should be pretty obvious. Haven't had a chance to wear it in cold weather yet, or at least, I haven't. If depending on where you are in the world, that might not be the case. But yeah, I would really be looking forward to seeing how this wears in cool weather. I think this is a year-round fragrance DNA. You can wear it whenever you want, but even with that being a fact of the fragrance, at least in my opinion, it still is going to give you a different experience in hot weather versus cold weather. So I want to see what this does. So this is fresh and woody, slight green, bitter green kind of feel that's coming from some galbanum that is in here. And there's a nice ginger freshness, ginger spice in this. And then you got the cedarwood, sandalwood combination that many are going to compare or at least give a similarity to Santal 33. But this is its own thing. I think there's a little bit of musk in here too to kind of smooth it out as well. I love this stuff. This is really good juice from the house of Louis Vuitton. It's versatile. It's a little bit different from everything they've got, but it still has that Louis Vuitton fragrance DNA in it. And I'm pretty sure this would give a really nice wearing experience in cooler weather as well, primarily fall. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this wears in cooler weather. Once again, from the house of Louis Vuitton, this is LV Lovers. All right, next one's coming from the house of Rosendo Mateu, and this is number 5. Rosendo Mateu, number 5. I mean, I literally just got this last week, so obviously I have not had a chance to wear this in cooler weather. This is going to be a floral, slightly leathery, musk and sweet fragrance. It is like 100% a certified like date night fragrance or positive attention grabbing fragrance. It just has that sexiness to it. And this one also I think is good enough for warmer weather. I actually wore this the other day, and because of the white musk, the softer musk in here, and even the leatheriness that's in here, it's light. It's not like really heavy. And the florals also very light. It's not something that is necessarily overpowering in warmer weather, although I do think you can overspray this, but I would love to see how this comes across in some cooler weather, especially on a nice night out, date night. So I'm probably gonna wear this at least one time when me and my wife go out to dinner somewhere. And yeah, I would just love to see how this comes across in cooler weather. But again, this is another DNA I think you can honestly pull off at any time, preferably for the evenings. I think it's more of an evening wear fragrance than it is a daytime wear, even though I wore it daytime yesterday, but use it how you see fit. Once again, from the house of Rosendo Mateu, this is number 5. All right, next one's coming from the house of Gisada. We have got Ambassador Intense. Gisada Ambassador Intense. All right, so the original Ambassador in DNA, I think you can wear year round. It is spicy and woody with a fruitiness to it, but it's light enough to where you can wear it honestly in the middle of summer and it works just fine. This one here, I think the spices are ramped up. I think the woody element is ramped up. There's an added like luxurious floral floral heart to this fragrance, and the fruitiness is actually turned down. I actually don't find it to be sweeter. I find it to be more spicy and more woody. So I actually consider this to be the ambassador DNA that may be a little bit more suited for cooler weather, even though the original can work. And also, I just got these, well, I didn't just get them, these were sent to me by the brand, and I got them, what, a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that. So obviously, I have not had a chance to wear any of them in cooler weather. And matter of fact, all the ones I got from the house that they sent to me, I would love to see how they wear in cooler weather. Just kind of went with this one because I think this one is maybe the best option for the cooler months, one that was maybe intended to be used in cooler weather if you care about seasonality in fragrances. So once again, from the house of Gisada, we've got Ambassador Intense. All right, we're gonna move on to another one from the house of Amouage, and this is going to be Jubilation 40. Amouage Jubilation 40. For me, thinking about the original Jubilation 25 DNA, that is definitely a dried woods, incensey, slightly smoky, kind of fruity fragrance. This one here turns up the fruitiness actually, and turns up the woodiness and just kind of gives more emphasis on the resins. I would say the incensey and smoky nature is about the same. It's just intensified a little bit. And that, with that being said, I feel like that one, you can wear it in fall temps, but this one is maybe even more suited for it because it just has a little bit more beefiness to it. Kind of cut through that cold a little bit better than even Jubilation 25 can. I see Jubilation 25 as kind of a transition, even wear it in warm weather fragrance. And you could wear it in cooler weather, but it might be a little light at times, depending on what your usage is. And again, I just got this, so I have not had a chance to check this out when it is cooler out. I did smell it when it was cooler out. Matter of fact, it was freezing when I first got my nose on it, but that was actually in the store and I didn't get to actually test it. So I would love to see how this wears in cooler weather, particularly even in some winter temperatures if I get the chance. So this one just makes sense to put it on the list. Once again, from the house of Amouage, this is Jubilation 40. Next one is coming from the house of Maison Crivelli. It's Patchouli Magnetik. Maison Crivelli Patchouli Magnetik. Now, while I do think you could wear this in warmer temperatures, this one could be a bit much. I mean, you kind of have to, I would say, use some discretion, or at least know you're going to be indoors. I wouldn't say me personally, I necessarily want to wear this when it is really, really hot or particularly really, really muggy. I think the mugginess or the humidity is the main thing that would keep me from wearing this in warmer temps. So this one, I think I actually do prefer to wear it in cooler weather, but I also have not even had the chance to do so. The fragrance has been out for a while, but I got this like late spring, I think, and it had already started to warm up. So I haven't had a chance to really wear this in real cool temperatures, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to see what it wears like in cooler temperatures. This is obviously a patchouli fragrance, has a little bit of a, not the best peach accord on the top, but it has a peachy fruitiness, and the patchouli in this is more of the leafy variety. Doesn't quite have the earthiness, definitely not really chocolatey overall, and it is very sweet. It's quite sweet underneath it, and it is a powerhouse fragrance. Part of the reason why I think maybe not necessarily the best scent for warmer weather, but I would love to see how that patchouli comes across in the cooler weather, along with the sweetness and even the fruity peach accord. If anything, I think this would just be a beast mode scent in the cooler temps. I don't know if I would say it was created exactly for that, but I do think it would shine in the cooler temps. So naturally, I just want to see how it does once it cools off. Once again, from the house of Maison Crivelli, this is Patchouli Magnetik. All right, next one's coming from the house of Mind Games, and this is Scholar's Mate. Mind Games, Scholar's Mate. So this one, I mean, I gotta get my nose on this when it is cooler out. I think this is also kind of like a quintessential fall fragrance. Doesn't necessarily have the complete note breakdown of the fall favorites, if you will, but it has all those elements. It has spice. I think there's also pimento in this. It has spice. It has smoky woodiness, smoky vetiver in here. It has the cedarwood and sandalwood kind of smell. Not quite as comparable to like a Santal 33, but it's kind of using the same elements. Has that creamy, milky fig milk that is in here that just adds another element to this. I think this stuff is amazing, and honestly, I think it would shine in fall temps. Now, I've worn it in warm weather. I would wear this in warm weather, but I think this is through and through a fall style fragrance, and I bet you that smokiness would just come through at another level in cooler temperatures. I could be wrong. That's why I want to look and see what it's like when it's cooler out. So this one will definitely get more wear once it cools off. Once again, from the house of Mind Games, this is Scholar's Mate. All right, and last but not least, coming from the house of Lorenzo Pizzalia, this is Black Sea. Lorenzo Pizzalia Black Sea. Now for me, this is primarily a warm weather fragrance that can be worn year round. I am just curious to see what it is like in true cool weather. I have worn this actually quite a few times when it has been rainy and so it's not quite as hot, but you wouldn't really call that cool weather. I just want to see how it smells. Honestly, I think it would probably give me kind of the same vibe. Maybe, I think it might smell exactly the same. I'm just curious. I don't know for sure. This is a very green and aquatic fragrance, kind of dark aquatic, has a kind of a seaweedy vibe. I think there's like a note of myrtle in this. Definitely a lot of ambergris, a little bit of a saltiness, some salty accords, slightly ozonic, kind of fresh breeze smell, and very powdery in nature. So it's a fragrance that is kind of a powerhouse in warmer weather, in my opinion, but I really just want to see how does it compare when it is a little bit cooler out. It's definitely going to get the chance to show me once the temperatures finally cool off here, whenever that happens. Once again, from the house of Lorenzo Pizzalia, this is Black Sea. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I appreciate you watching all the way into the end. Let me know down in the comments below what are some fragrances you are definitely looking forward to wearing once those temperatures cool off. I'm pretty sure, like me, a lot of you guys prefer fall fragrances over any time of year. And let me know what some of your favorites are. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. So, thanks again, watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you all. Please remember to be well and smell well. And I'll see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.